Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everybody. I'm really excited about the show. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show, everybody. Welcome. You all, welcome. And let me just mention, I'm just going to say it up front. Tomorrow night at 4 Pacific on the Psychic and the Doc, Mark and I are going to do a really fun show about superheroes and villains. And so the show is superheroes and villains. Which ones would you pick to lead the world? That's going to be the fun part. So, it's going to be still a live call-in show, but it's all about how do we raise ourselves up? How do we take a look at situations in our life that are not so positive? That's what today's show is about. All you need to hear the word inflammation. Hello. Like that's the word you hear. And if you hear it, like I heard it in 2004, like maybe for the first time. And it was like, what? I have what? Like overnight, like on March 31st of 04, I'm perfectly healthy. And on April 1st, every part of my body just like ballooned up. And what are you calling it? Like what? Inflammation? Well, I'll tell you what, once you get into that realm, I also now know that was a spiritual journey, but that's a different show. But once you get into that realm, you learn about things. Becky is joining me here today. And this is one of the most incredible discoveries in my healing journey. And when I first heard about whole body vibration, how for calming inflammation, like not just that, it does so much more. But we're going to talk about this. When I heard about this back in the day, the devices were primitive to where we are today, but still people were using them. What did we learn though? See, there's such a science behind this. Not only that, it's a really, really cool device. It's really cool to do. And cool is not the right word, but I'll just tell you one thing for me. Becky Chambers is joining me here today, and she's going to tell you why. When you step in to this vibrant health living, and when you learn, like she has as a health practitioner, natural health practitioner, because by the way, that's where all of my stuff comes from. It comes from natural health practitioners like Becky, just saying. When you step into that, she is also a leading expert on whole body vibration, WBV. She's also the founder of Drive-In Health. 5 books about this. Why? Why? Because when you find something like she has discovered, and you're working with so many people backed up by her science degree at UMass and so many other educational, inspirational, backed up scientific information about why this works, you're going to be thinking, how do I talk to her? How do I find out about this? Can this really, like for real? Can this be true? It is true. Becky, it's great to have you.
Hi, Dr. Pat. It's so wonderful to be here.
I should have talked to you like years ago because there's so much to learn about this. But what's even more importantly is when people talk to you about whole body vibration and they're not really you, they're not really steeped in the natural health and the sciences, you look at them like, what are you saying? And then you try it. So thank you for joining me here today, because we're getting ready to talk about something that is so powerful. I need you to help us talk about this compelling evidence. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
It is wonderful to be back, Pat. I'm so happy to be here.
I got to ask you this question because I ran into this myself. We're going to talk about whole body vibration, why it does calm inflammation, but so much more, right?
Right.
What has been your greatest challenge, if I could? What has been your greatest challenge? Like, I know what my greatest challenge has been.
My personal story?
I know what my greatest challenge has been in getting the message out about positive talk. But
yes.
What has been your greatest challenge that you've had based on your experience to tell people that there is a solution here?
You know what I would have to say?
What?
It's just too good to believe.
Yes.
Honestly, with vibration, it's just too good.
Totally right. That's what it is. Oh my God. That's the way I felt when I first heard about it. Dr. Dark.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
What is this? 10 minutes is an hour of exercise, and it works like massage and acupuncture and reflexology and detoxing, and it all took 10 minutes. Forget it.
Yeah. You know, the hardest part for me now that when I talk about it, I don't have your background, I don't have your science, I don't have your study, your expertise. I tell people, I got to tell you, it feels really good.
It does. I mean, it's truly incredible. And the reason I think is because it is working on all the levels of your being. You know,
Okay.
It's a physical workout. Who doesn't know that exercise is good for you, right? Okay, that's so basic, so simple, and everybody can understand that. But it's also mental. It's this huge stimulation of your brain. So it wakes your brain up and your nervous system, which is running the whole show, right?
Yeah.
And it's spiritual. This is vibration. So on that level, it's helping to get your chakras spinning and unblock your energy meridians and just raise your vibrations. So the end result is it is too hard to believe, almost.
Yeah.
You know, you have to experience it to really get it.
I get it.
You know?
Let's explain to people what it is we're talking about, because this is really where I fall short in explaining that this is a machine, this is a device, right? Mm-hmm. And when it was first introduced to me, I mean, I didn't have a sense of it, right? But let's talk about what this is, what the machine is. And from your perspective, it's like shooting through the roof with popularity, I think.
Oh, it is. It's booming. It is booming worldwide, which is great. It's fantastic, but it's a little bit confusing. Well, very confusing, one could say, because there's just so many options now out there, and prices range from $200 to $12,000-$15,000. So people are looking around and they get real confused. So that's one of the reasons I write so many books, but also I write so many because it's so wide ranging, all the different things that it does. Okay, so I'm going to start with your question, which is, what is it? And I have this handy little picture here. This is, it's a device. It's a machine. You can see at the bottom here, a plate, a platform that you stand on, and it vibrates, right? And it sends vibration through your whole body. Okay, so now you get on it and you can do all kinds of different things on there. You could exercise, like in this picture here, she's squatting. She's doing a little bit of a squat on the plate, right? And that's going to cause that squat to be much more difficult than if you were just doing a squat on the floor. Why? Because holding weight against vibration is really hard work.
Yeah.
For a quick visual, think of a guy with a jackhammer and the arm muscles they develop. It is hard work. And there's physics equations that'll prove it. And there's just the understanding that when you're on there, not only you're holding your weight against the vibration, which causes you to effectively be holding 2 to 3 times your body weight suddenly. That's the effect of gravitation and acceleration that you get from the vibration. But also every muscle fiber in your body is firing, all in your leg muscles, 100%. Normally in a squat, it's 40%. and they're all firing 20 to 50 times per second. So now you got 3,000 little tiny reps in 1 minute. They're small, but that's really intense. So the end result is 10 minutes gives you the benefits of an hour of conventional weight training. And who can't use that, right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
all busy.
Well, the thing that I'm really most impressed by, and let's talk about this. I mean, certainly, I want to make sure everybody can go to your website as they're following along, because you have the machines there, they can look at them, because we're going to walk people through this today. And if you go to Becky's website, which is B as in Becky, C as in Charles, VIBRANT, help, BC vibranthealth.com, right? BC vibranthealth.com. When you go, you're going to find a lot of things. First of all, you're going to find out why Becky is the expert in this. You're going to meet her. You're going to look about what she has done in this world and realm to help people. But the other thing you're going to find is you're going to find what the testimonials are. If you look throughout the website, you will hear what people say. And it's exactly what I said to Becky, right? You know, it was, I couldn't believe the energy I got after a session. Then I was telling her, this is before we came on air. Then I was saying, and it felt like I had just finished either acupuncture or it's hard to describe. It was hard to describe because you get on it and maybe you're not feeling it, right? And I got to tell you, Becky, when I was at my worst, I couldn't do the squat thing. All I could do was sit in the chair, right? So let's talk about this because this is important. When you talk to people that have inflammation, and you talk about something like this, there aren't a lot of options for them, but I'm going to be doing a whole series on inflammation. And one of the things I say to people is my experience with this is I could sit in my chair and I could put my feet on it barefoot. Now, maybe I'm not getting everything that we're talking about here today. Maybe I'm not going to get, maybe when I'm done, I'm not going to feel like I'm, Arnold Schwarzenegger. But I will tell you that if there was nothing else that you could do with your body, right, that you're in so much pain, what a change. You feel better, right? What do you make about what I'm saying about that? Because there aren't very many devices that can do that. Benny, let's go to a quick break if we could. When we come back, Becky's going to weigh in on what I said. And then if this is so powerful, why don't hospitals have them? Why don't homes have them for people that are aging or need assistance? Why don't they? Let's take a short break, Benny. Olivia, we'll be right back. Welcome back. I just want to tell you all about this, right? Here we go. And I think Olivia's got it up there, right? We're talking about whole body vibration for calming inflammation. And there's so much in this book. Becky, one of the things you did was you talked a little bit about what the machine is. I want to go to the benefits now, because one of the things that I always get asked about are things like, well, Pat, how did you exert yourself? I get asked, because there's a view about this where people think that it's like lifting weights. And we have to explain to people that you first, if you're getting anything done with a doctor, you run it by your doctor or your practitioner or your physical therapist. But I want to go right to why this works for inflammation, what it does, and the science behind us. Take us on that journey.
Okay, well, there is research at this point. I mean, vibration has many, many benefits, why I wrote so many books about it, but, bone density, muscle strength, flexibility, balance, coordination, mental health, digestive health, waking your whole body up, energy, sleep, all kinds of things, including inflammation, lowering inflammation. And there is research now showing really dramatic changes in your body that reflect lower inflammation, such as increased levels of a molecule called IL-10, which is a marker for inflammation, and it goes down with no, I'm sorry, it goes up because IL-10 is a marker for lower inflammation. And gut health, which is very, very much tied to inflammation in your body. Gut flora, they found that a particular type of bacteria that is very anti-inflammatory increased 17 times, 17-fold in a short period of time with vibration. They found cytokines and CR reactive proteins, more markers for inflammation, improving levels of those things. Just hard evidence at this point. So how does it do that? Well, one, it's helping change your gut flora. And that is a big part of inflammation. But what it's doing is that it's got so many systemic effects on your body that help your body heal itself. Your body has more ability to heal itself than any drug, anything. It's very wise in its ability to heal yourself. So vibration is doing things like increasing circulation and getting chakras spinning and opening up energy meridians. It's waking up your brain, which is in control of your whole body. It's increasing energy levels, giving your body the energy to heal. So, and then your body just goes to town, your body and your mind and your energy go to town and start fixing the things that are wrong with you, which your body has that ability, right? So there's, for example, it's increasing lymph drainage, getting toxins out of your body. So that allows your body to heal itself better. It's increasing your circulation, bringing oxygen and nutrients to all your cells. Again, allowing your body to do what it does best, heal you. So there's many different effects. And the end result is that inflammation levels do go down.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, one of the things too is, and this is what I say to people, you know, you have to really go to an expert when you're looking at something like this. I was taking a look at the machines for a minute. And as I said before, for those of you out there, everything is in the book. And we're going to talk about some of this. But a lot of this, if I could just say, a lot of this is almost, I want to say common sense, especially if you've been sick and you have experienced inflammation and you look back and you say, oh, my lymph systems needed to be loosened up. Oh, why is that? Well, stuff passes through them, right? And then I'm reading your book, and I want to say, first of all, thank you for putting the testimonials in the book, because what people have to say, I think, are more powerful sometimes than the science. Do you know what I mean, Becky?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And the stories, and thank you for not like giving us the cliff notes of them. Thank you for giving us the whole stories, because, you know, people talk about how they started, how they had good results, then they kind of fell off the wagon, and then they started again. And they talk about the ease by which and how good they felt and how forward they looked to do it. You don't hear people say that when you talk about exercise. I don't know about you, but yes, there are some people that say, I love to go to the gym, right? There are those people. I love to play ping pong. Like Wednesday, that is my table tennis day. And I try to keep it like uninterrupted. I love it. There's something about hitting that little ball vibrationally that works. But there's nothing as powerful as what you're talking about here. And can I say this, and you can correct me, for such little effort? Is that an incorrect statement?
True. And I make a big point of that. Because,
Okay.
you know, when you have inflammation, you are not feeling good.
No.
And one of the beauties of vibration machines is there's a huge range in how you can use it. And I recommend, when you're not feeling good, all you got to do is get on the plate and stand on it. Or if you're really, really ill and not feeling well, sit in a chair next to it and put your feet on it.
That's me.
Less is actually more with vibration machines and when you're ill. And I actually get way better results than the published research when it comes to people who are actually sick. So the research I was talking about, that's usually with healthier people, young and old, and animals, and they get spectacular results. But when they try to do this and replicate it with people who have health problems, the results are not as good. Why? Because Western medicine and Western science sort of doesn't really understand that a more fragile person needs much, much less, because it's this system is much more than exercise. They think it's exercise. It's much more than exercise. It is incredibly powerful. So you want to start with just a little bit. And, when something's very powerful, you want to respect it and understand that too much can actually make you feel worse if you do too much and you're not using the right machine and all. And you want to start with a little bit with the right kind of machine and just relax into it, and you'll start to feel better. Many times, most people are going to be able to take in the benefits of this and see dramatic results. I have 75% of the people who come to me in pain are reporting 50% drop in pain levels within weeks. While they lower their pain meds. It's amazing.
It is. I wanted to say, Benny, I've got copies of the book I want to start to give away. Okay. 1-800-930-2819. We're going to give our first copy of the book away. I love how you cover this in the book. I was fascinated because a lot of times I don't see this in books, but I experienced this. That's why I glommed onto it. It's about detox overload. See, that's how you know that less is more, and I don't know if it's part of my personality or what, but what I found was while I was using it, or while I use it, it felt good. Now, I want to talk with you about something that I learned the hard way, and I don't want our listeners to learn this the hard way. I don't. Not all machines are one size fits all. You may see a popular machine out there being promoted, but when we come back, the anatomy of a great vibrational machine, what do you look for? What is the difference between a single motor or no motor, or how the machine works? Why you want to know this, and how does it help you, especially if you're with Becky. Not only can you get the machine, but you get coaching, but she's got this amazing big chart. Right? I saw the chart up there. When we come back, the guidelines to how you choose what machine's going to work for you. And by the way, we're also going to tackle one of the fastest growing forms, I might say. I call it inflammation. Becky, you can, when we come back from break, you can tell me. Breathing issues, asthma. Now, maybe you're thinking, really, Pat, asthma? Just saying. Young children, adults are developing non-COVID related type breathing inflammation things, right? Why? Think about what you're breathing in. Hello, right? Think about all the mold we're finding in, right? What is it that we can do? And then what Becky's going to tell us, because she did say this, she did mention your pet, and on her website, there's a child sitting on it. What? Children? Oh my. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. My very special expert. And we're taking your calls. You got a question for Becky? Shout it out. Give us a call. 1-800-930-2819. You'll get a copy of the book. And if you don't want to come on air, just tell Benny your question. When we come back, we're going to tackle all of that. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, welcome back. So great to have all of you tune us in and turn us on for sure. Thank you for doing that. Very special guest today joining us here. And I just love, it's been a while since she and I talked. And, we were joking a little bit about how We really were. We were joking a little bit about how we just keep going. And I think what she said to me was, wow, it's been like a really long time. And I was like, whoa, Becky, 20 years, okay? Just saying, 20 years. Now, Charlene, we're going to come over to you in a hot minute. Becky, how do people find out more? How do they get the book? I know you have a Facebook page, you have a Facebook group, you got a bunch of things. So tell us the best way to do it.
Okay, well, my website is BC for my initials, Becky Chambers, bcvibranthealth.com. It's easy. And you know what? You can just Google, if you can just put in beckychambers.com and it'll take you to my website. And then there's links from there to my Facebook page and Twitter, Instagram. There's a newsletter and you can call me. My number is 781-860-0680. There's an 800 number on there too somewhere.
Yeah, I have it. Let me give it out. Okay.
Sure.
I'm going to do it. 877-422-8423. Hello, wait. 877. Benny, don't I sound like an old school broadcaster? 877-4BC-VIBE, VIBE. 877-422-8423. Now we're going to talk about machines because there's some questions coming in that are cool, but let's get to the questions because I think they'll help. So question number one, Mary, thank you, Mary. This is a great question. I went through it. Can the machine be used for previous nerve/back issues?
Okay, so there's a number of issues here.
Yeah.
One is vibration's fantastic for nerve problems in general. Like, for example, peripheral nerve issues in your feet, vibration's fantastic. Now, in your back nerve problems can be a little different. Like a common one is like a sciatica nerve problem, shooting pain down your leg, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If the nerve is being pinched by tight muscles, which is sometimes, then vibration's fantastic and it will really, really help. If, however, the nerve is being pinched by the bone against a disc from like a herniated disc, then actually you don't want to use vibration. So you do need to be careful with vibration. It is very powerful, as I said before. I have a list of contraindications in my book and all my books and on my website. So you can check the contraindications, and that is one. However, that's an acute herniated disc. If you have a chronic sort of situation where every once in a while it comes back, but you went to the chiropractor and you got it better. So you said in the question, an old problem, then actually, yes, it's terrific because it will keep the inflammation down, which is going to keep the nerve calm and keep the disc from being inflamed and bulging, and it will help keep you strong and good. So, you need to look at it a little bit more. You can contact me.
Yeah. And please, whatever you do, if you've got a compound condition, you have to check with your physician or your practitioner, or whoever you're working with, right? Because the language is important. And I learned that with my doctor by asking some really interesting questions. Like, I don't know how this full leg knee massager bumping up my surgery knee is different from me sitting on a chair. And then once I walked it through, he understood the science, right? It's really important we learn the language. And you give us the language, Becky, in your book. I mean, you give us language. I'm going to go to the phones because we got a call. Okay.
Sure.
Benny? Charlene, are you there? Okay. Not sure if Charlene is still there. We'll come back to Charlene.
Sorry, Pat, I was on the phone.
Hello?
Sorry, Pat, I was on the phone with somebody else. So Charlene is there now.
Thank you, Mr. Benny. He's so busy. Hey, Charlene, how can we help you today? I want you to meet my buddy, Becky. Becky.
Hi, Charlene.
Hello, Becky. Hi, Dr. Pat.
Hi,
Thank you
Charlene.
for introducing me.
Yeah. Cool.
I have a question.
Okay.
Go for it.
Which machine would be good for fibromyalgia?
Okay.
Thank you, because we were going to talk about machines now.
Very, very good question. So when you're dealing with inflammation, such as fibromyalgia, you need to be careful to get the right kind of machine. You do not want a wild machine. You do not want a machine that's too powerful. You want a single motor vertical vibration. That means the whole plate's moving up and down just a little bit. Another popular kind of machine that many machines are what's called oscillation, where it kind of goes back and forth like wildly, like this. But you're trying to calm everything down, including your mind. So vertical vibration, single motor, and not too powerful, and also not too gentle. Well, for inflammation, you could go on the gentler side. There's other aspects, like if you're looking for bone density, then you don't want too gentle. But anyway, you know what? There are a number of machines that I recommend, and they're on my website. They're all single motor vertical vibration. And I developed a machine myself because I wanted to be sure that I had on tap, ready all the time, just exactly what I want, and what I know is going to give the best results. Because the market changes so fast. There's so many different machines out there, and it's very confusing. So that's one safe way to go, is go to my website and see what I have there.
And it's a very important thing to really get educated, because, if you don't understand this and you start to look up a machine and it sounds like it's got everything, including Christmas lights on it, that may not be the best solution, right? Because you're trying to do something specific here.
Yeah.
You're trying to either lose weight or whatever you're trying to do. And some of those other machines, you're right, they got like crazy back and forth. And then, I'm not quite sure what the benefit of that is, but you have to go to your website.
Yeah, a lot of machines out there now are just throwing everything in the bucket, I mean. Oh, okay, we want the people who want this, we want the people who want that, we'll put them all in this one machine and it can do everything. But actually, those machines, one, they're too crazy, and two, the kind of vibration that you really should be getting, it's they only give it a little bit of that. It's like, oh, it's just barely doing it, and then they've got all this other stuff going crazy. So, and you can also spend like a vast amount.
A lot.
The machine that I developed, I really want to help a lot of people. I think everybody on the planet should be vibrating. I really do. So I really aimed to keep this affordable, but give you the right kind of vibration. And it's a comparable kind of vibration to the most expensive machines out there, but it's not expensive.
Yeah, I think I looked at the Power 1000 on your website. That was one of them. There's also the 500, and then there's also, you have a vibe plate. I mean, you have pretty much just and including a foot vibrator. But again, if you go to look, you'll see that what Becky is showing you is this is the plate. Now you can get the tower if you want to hold on or not. So take a look, and then Becky is available for you to call her and ask your questions. So Charlene, I think we've really got you covered there on all fronts. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think, and please feel free.
I'm interested in the book too, because like I've pulled everything up that you've said about all of these machines and things like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah,
like more information and stuff. So I've got Becky's number here too. So
okay, yeah, and go ahead. And she has a whole section in the book about machines, and she explains them. One of the things we didn't mention is G-force, right? That was an interesting term to see that. But if you're going to get a copy of her book, Charlene, anyway, make sure that Benny knows that, and you take a look at it. And again, feel free to call Becky. Thank you, Charlene.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pat. Becky, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Charlene. It's my pleasure. I've been very passionate about it since it changed my life. A good 20 years ago, after, I had so many health problems for so long. I spent, 30, 40 years trying to get better. And I learned a lot about natural health, and I was using all kinds of methods. And they were helping me. but I was still sick, still miserable, still struggling. And 20 years ago, I found vibration and I just started shooting up. I mean, I was combining it with the other things. They're valuable. They are. But this gives your body so much energy to take advantage of all the good stuff you're giving it. And it's just working. It's every day. It's like you spent the entire day working on your body, getting treatments, acupuncture, reflexology, detoxing, a massage, a little workout if you're up to it. And it took you 10 minutes. So you can keep doing things like writing books or whatever it is your passion and your love is, or your work that you just got to do. Take care of your family, all those things we all want to do. So it's a miracle. It's a godsend, really. It's just going to change the world, I think.
Yeah. And by the way, when you read the book, the science will be explained as to why. Why is it that it works with the gut? If it works with the gut, then are we going to be able to absorb those gazillion vitamins we're taking that basically aren't getting absorbed? And there's just so many things to look at. So thank you, Charlene. Thank you. We have another question. This is a good one. Came in. And it's going to be a tricky answer because without knowing the extent of this injury, it's hard to say. However, I think Becky may have a couple of examples. Does it help with a broken arm?
Okay, so the short answer is you got to wait. Okay, you got two broken edges. You don't want to be moving around. They're trying to bind. They're trying to bond, right? So you got to wait. Typically for just a simple fracture, you're supposed to wait 6 weeks before vibrating. I would also say, talk to your doctor. When he clears you to do any activity, then you're fine, right? And it will, this is exciting, vibration helps increase bone density. So it's going to strengthen your bones and protect you from future fractures and keep that broken bone, once it's healing, it'll make it stronger and protect you in the future. So that's actually one of the big reasons people are buying vibration machines, because they don't want to take the dangerous bone density drugs. And this is a natural method, quick and effective for bone density. And you mentioned the G-force, Pat. So that's a real interesting question when you come to bone density. The research shows you want a higher G-force. That's the strength, the power of the machine, and it usually relates to the amplitude, how far it's moving the plate.
Up and down.
Right. So, however, I still don't recommend the big machines that have the biggest amplitudes. You don't want to go, you want to look at the entire person, right? And the research, they focus, like most Western science stuff and Western medicine, they focus very, very narrowly. And they were looking only at sort of short-term, quick bone density. And you have to think about the whole body, the whole system, the mind, as well as inflammation and everything else. And you want a gentler machine, especially for older people who have health problems. And you can still get very good bone density results. I had a woman who was 70 years old, and she went from extremely severe osteoporosis to the bones of a healthy young woman in 2 years. It was unbelievable. And I can't say that's normal, that it was unusual, but what it's showing is vibration causes every muscle fiber in your body to vibrate and quiver. And where it quivers against bone, it's sending a signal to bone to increase bone density. So it is a super effective signal to bones throughout your whole body to increase bone density. And that is where you need a certain amount of G-force, because it does have to be strong enough to cause all your muscle fibers throughout your body to quiver. And really low power machines don't do that. There's just like your feet will vibrate, but won't go through your whole. So it's a question.
And I just want to be really clear too, because when you look at some of these other machines that seem really fancy, and then you dive deeper into seeing what the vertical, what you get vertically, what you find a lot of times is that because they've added these other things, the real thing that you need, they cut back on. Right now, you'll find that out when you go to look and you'll see. But when you go to look at the machine, I think that you have on your site, it's very clear that when you look at the machine, you could see by the construction what it's going to do best. And a lot of times these other machines don't show you. But when you call, you get the information and they'll tell you outright, well, this machine does all these things. But when you ask that very specific question about vertical vibration, that's where the rubber meets the road. And I'm telling everybody, check with Becky, do your own homework. But now you have the questions, everybody, to ask. Becky, look, there's so much to talk about, but this book is about inflammation. And we now know that beyond epidemic proportions, I mean, the numbers of diseases that are now being listed in diagnosis now that are related to inflammation, it's overwhelming. Overwhelming. We're not even talking about that, really. You know, we get, oh, this is the disease. But like you said, fibromyalgia, right? Any kind of rheumatoid arthritis, multiple MS. I mean, anything that you look up and you find that, what do they check? Inflammation markers.
Well, and just the ones that are epidemics, like diabetes and high blood pressure.
Yeah.
And, heart disease. It's all inflammation driven.
Yeah.
So, proving that these machines lower inflammation is huge. It's really huge. But we need to go one further step.
Take us there.
Well, so far they've proved they can lower inflammation in people who aren't that sick. But when they try to do it with people who are sick, that's where they have problems. So we need to go to the point where we can show that it works with people who are actually sick. And it does. I know it does. I've been doing it for 20 years. I was sick myself with inflammation-driven problems.
Why are they having problems with that?
Because they think the machine is exercise, and they try to give you a workout. So they think high amplitude, put them on there for a long time, strengthen the muscles, and then the knee joint will work better because the muscles are stronger. No, they're giving you too much, too strong, wrong machine, too wild, and they're overstressing the body. You don't want to stress a body. You stress a body that's already weak and fragile and inflamed. Inflammation doesn't get better. It could even get worse.
It does.
You have to go really gentle. Just stand on a gentle machine, relax, let it, calm your brain, raise serotonin so you're calm and happy, move out the toxins, just relax, and then you get good results. Yeah. So I'm in the middle of getting research going on doing just that.
That's
I'm very
exciting.
excited actually about that.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to do that. I had a funny feeling you were going to do that. The other thing I want to say to people that are listening, I'll tell you one of the things I learned, and I learned it the hard way, because it doesn't feel like you are busting it out in the gym, 30 minutes on an elliptical or your Arnold Schwarzenegger workout. You don't take your water with you. You're thinking, no. Don't make the mistake I make. I mean, I learned I'm drinking the water before I'm drinking the water. We make that mistake because we forget detox requires us to drink water.
Well, these machines, they're just a massive detoxification system because every muscle fiber in your body is tensing and relaxing, massaging and pushing the lymph. Your lymph out of through the system. And that's the detox system we in our bodies. So I tell people to start with 1 minute on a gentle machine on a low power, because it's just a massive detox, even if you just stand there for a minute or two. So I have people, who they're like, and it doesn't feel like that much is happening. Just like you're saying, you're standing there, it feels good. You're like, oh, wow, I could do this all day. It feels great. It feels like a massage. But inside your body, the lymph system is being massaged and moving toxins out. And toxins are a big part of inflammation. And they're a big part of all kinds of health problems. So suddenly liberating those toxins in your body and sending them to the liver and the kidneys to go get processed and excreted, it's hard work for your body. So drink some water and take it slow, and just be gentle with your body, love your body, and your body can can do amazing, awesome things. You got to trust it.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for this. We got a couple of minutes left. I know there are some things that we just didn't cover. I want to know, from where Becky Chambers sits now, what would you say are your top 3 messages for people today?
Vibrate. Get yourself a vibration machine and combine it with all kinds of other natural systems, because there is enormous power in natural health approaches. And you can take care of yourself. You can heal yourself by taking care of yourself, and don't depend on Western medicine. I'm not saying there's not a place for it. There is. And talk to your doctor and use the best of both. What else? Love yourself. Okay? We all need to love and care about ourselves, and just give yourself a big hug. And
Well, I love it. Here's the thing I want to say too, and it's how we started the show. When you come across something like this, I'm pretty much a skeptic, especially if you've been as sick as Becky, you and I have been with inflammation. And one of the things you do is you're taking on new information and you're learning. And when something seems too good to be true, we automatically want it to be much harder, much more expensive until you try it. And then you try it and you feel better. You can't explain it. You don't know why you don't feel as stressed. You're not following the chart and standing on one leg, but what you're doing is maybe you can just sit in a chair. And then you realize you can't wait to do the next session again, and you have to hold back because less is more. Becky, thank you so much. Give out your website one more time.
BC for Becky Chambers, bcvibranthealth.com.
Awesome.
Love to see you.
I love it. And don't forget whole body vibration for calming inflammation. Here you go. Covered a lot of topics. I want to thank everybody for tuning us in. I want to thank our fabulous callers for some great, great questions. Benny, thank you. Olivia, thank you. We're going to take a short break, everybody. And when we come back, more with the Dr. Pat Show and Transformation Talk Radio.